Good morning, everyone. My name is AP the Weird One, and welcome to episode 1 of Digimon Beat Break, my review, or at least my overall thoughts about the episode 1. Anyway, we gotta begin not with our main character, we gotta begin with Reina Sakuya, as our opening begins essentially with Reina and Makoto. We start the adventure here. At the beginning, we do learn a little bit about the world, saying how E-Pulse is basically created from thoughts and emotions of a person, and that discovers a new power source for people, and that's how we got this futuristic society in 2050. Yeah, that's how far in the future we are. But yeah, we got off to an explosive start. We don't get much world building. We get action. We see Digivolutions. We meet the other three: Kyo, Makoto. That's Makoto, right? I just saw that. Yes, Makoto and we all see all three of them in action, and we see them battle against a guy who's stealing jewelry with a Fan Beamon who digivolves into a Waspmon. Yeah, we're off to a very explosive start. Not necessarily a bad thing. I think I would have liked a little bit more world building, which we do get right after this. But I think I don't know. The jumping off the action seems like you're trying to appeal to a certain audience. I don't know. A more younger audience. I mean, it's fine. I just not my cup of tea. I don't know. But anyway, I want to talk a little bit about Reina and her partner, Pristimon. Reina is a toothy waifu. I did not realize it, but she is very cute. Her having Machu's voice actor from Mobile Suit Gundam G-Quox, I think is going to actually work perfectly fine. We also have Pristimon. This little red panda sort of shtick. Very interesting Digimon. Well, we'll talk about the champion form in just a sec. Hold on, actually, I should bring that up. Yeah, Pristimon, I'll have to see more of it, but I'm not exactly super fan of the design. I'll talk a little bit more about my Digi thoughts. But I see the motif, what they're going for, and especially with Wolvermon. When I first saw it, I'm like, I think this is really cool. I initially thought it was going to give me like a construction vibe, but I don't think so. I think it's definitely going to get a lot more cyborg-ish. I think I definitely see that potential. And you could make an argument for this being part of a Grappleomon, like a champion form for Grappleomon. This thing had a lot of good action, very fun. It reminds, because it's female, it reminds me of Noi from Dora Hero. I don't like the series, but it kind of her hairdo and everything. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. Very interesting design. Unfortunately, it just gets bitch slapped by the Waspmon and / Fan Beamon. These are a little bit more experienced Digimon tamers. They can go up against these newbie cleaners until Kyo arrives with Murasamemon and just absolutely wipes the floor. Waspmon, I don't like it. This is like the lower half of it's like more like a little bit like its torso. I hate the thing that how we saw close up it is. I'm like, this Waspmon's not a bad design, but I hate the little like harmonica, the little thing, mouthpiece. I don't know. Not the pincers, the thing below it. It doesn't work for me. But still very cool action shots. Really enjoyed it. But then we move on. Following that, we move on to our main protagonist. We learn a little more about the world. This girl, she's late for work, late for school anyway, and then her E-Pulse is not dead, and runs into our drummer man, Tomoro, and he attaches it and he gives her E-Pulse. We learn very quickly on that his E-Pulse is a bit irregular, so we'll find out more about that later. I'm curious to what that will lead in terms of development, in terms of its like going forward. But yeah, and he kind of does it like a bit of a joke. His character, he's serious and he's like a bit kind of brave. I mean, I think a little bit smart in some ways. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not sure about the vibe I get from him, like in terms of character. I'm like, I gotta see a little bit more of him to understand. But he, one thing I did find about interesting is he has like old school headbuds, the ones that have like cords or whatever. I'm like, shouldn't 2050 that be gone away completely? But okay, I guess. I mean, he's got tapes and everything. I'm just thinking that would be going away. He is a musician, like he's got like he was a drummer. That he tried to be in part of a band. We learn a little bit backstory. His brother is he has a older brother, and he's kind of confused about why his e-pulse is so a bit weird. I don't know. We get a little bit of an introduction, and then his brother goes off when a girl that she gave his e-pulse to has cold heart, which basically he's like when a Digimon just absorbs your e-pulse, it freezes you up. We see that a little bit later with his brother, who well, I won't exactly spoil, but I'm like, all right, I have certain thoughts about that. But we get to we meet Gekomon really early on, like as brother goes away, he touches E-Pulse, gives it a spike of his data, and he pops up, and he's very energetic. I definitely super like him a lot. I am very curious to what his champion form is going to look like. Definitely be a bit wild. This character, his fight style was just absolutely amazing. I like the way he fights and moves about. Very cool. The funniest thing I wasn't exactly expecting that took me off guard is near the end. He eats Summer and he swells up to this giant balloon. I'm like, I wasn't expecting that, but that is very funny. And then he's able to bitch slap the Hyenamon, which they definitely give off the Disney vibe. Like they're the two brothers from The Lion King. We have the one with piercing earring and then the scar. I think it definitely a call back to that. Hyenamon, I'm not 100% sure. I mean, they're kind of cool looking. I don't think they're going to be a favorite of mine. I'm like, they're all right. They definitely give off a bit of a champion vibe. I like the one with the scar more. Just a little bit longer body. I could see it being a Gazimon evolution potentially, or it could be in its like own category. It's kind of up to interpretation, but they're little cackling brothers. We'll see more of them in the next episode. I was kind of curious to why certain Digimon weren't added to the reference book, but they're just gonna give it a slow taste of it. Just pour it in slowly because we're gonna see more in the next episode. Seeing him join Glowing Dawn. This futuristic society definitely has a little bit of predictability, like what's going on with current society. Like, I could already tell that everybody has like a digital ID, like the chip in their hand. I'm like, yeah, that's to be expected. So something tells me we as society are eventually going to get to that point, maybe. But yeah, there was like the vibe that it got for me, like based off the structure, like the city and everything, it definitely gave off a bit of a vibe that it reminded me a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D, especially with the opening. Everything we see a lot of more villainous human characters, like a good chunk of them. I know that was comparison to Digimon Savers, which a lot of people from that series have worked on it, but we got human characters, but they came a lot later in terms of like, I guess being like the forefront. They came a lot later, like right after episode 13 with Marukimon. So they come a lot later. So I was like, them showing up in the beginning is interesting. I don't know. So I like that. I like that because with like, okay, we can see some full evolutionary lines. We get some like proper rivals and everything. I like to see. I like how it's gonna go. I'm very curious. The opening, which we see the characters in the opening. Mad Pulse is very fun. I would have to hear the full version. I'm out to maybe listen to the music video. I haven't done that quite yet, but it was for the most part a fun vibe. I listened to it last night. I'm like, okay, this is fine. But then I listened to it again. I'm like, all right, I like it a lot better. The visuals. They don't spoil a lot of stuff, so I'm very happy about that. But I think Digimon the next week previews for the next week are definitely going to be massive spoilers. I'm glad that we're because I watched the interview like with with Miyu and Megumi. I know that the champion form for his is not going to come until like after episode 2, based on how it words and everything. So I'm kind of glad we're saving his champion form for later. How much later is actually a very good question, though. I am very curious about that. We also, and then in the ending, we see Kyo's champion form, Cougarmon. Looks nice. I don't think it's the rookie. It seems way too big to be a rookie. I think the biggest known rookie is like Lucimon or something. But so it kind of works out. I don't think Murasamimon's full evolution line is gonna be a kicker for me. I'm curious because of how early they're introducing if he's actually gonna get a mega or he definitely gives off like a bit of a death vibe, like he's gonna pass away or something. But and then the final thing I want to say about Geckomon's like strength and everything, like even in his profile, screams he's kind of like on par with like hybrid rookies like Flamemon and Starabimon. He kind of gives off a little bit of that vibe, like that's how strong they are, or even like well, I get Fanmimon's a good choice, but like natural carriers of the X antibody, like how they're much stronger than normal based Digimon. He kind of gives off that vibe, but he's not part of the category. So I suspect he's gonna be a pretty powerful bad boy. I'm curious, like if they're what his like special forms are gonna be. I'm curious what they're gonna give him overall. But yeah, first episode I liked it, a lot of fun. The intro I kind of wish was a little bit slower pace, more I guess a little bit more world building and then action. But it's part of the team of saviors. You want to get the ball rolling. I can see where they're going for, and I'm looking forward to it. We know there's 49 episodes, potentially maybe a little bit more, maybe a little less. Not 100% sure, but it's gonna be off to a good start. 10 Mus character, I'm very interesting. Where his development and everybody else. But I think we can definitely say that Rina is definitely waifu material for sure. I mean, with the toothy, and she's got a little bit of booba. I think we're gonna like it. And Pristimon's evolution line, I've got some faith. No, I'm gonna go for it. I dig it. But with that, I'll see you guys next time for episode 2. I'll probably try to have it around Sunday as normal, maybe Monday, depending how things are going. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy my review. Catch you guys next time. Have a wonderful day.